What's going on? This is a special occasion. This is very special. This will be episode one if you've been paying attention on the TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. We have new digs as if Stefan and Trayvon had a little brother. New digs. Inside.
New deal.
Welcome
I like how
to
you tied that into
Inside.
football.
Hey, that's how we do it now. We different. Welcome to Inside the Huddle. This is the new show. The boys are still in the building. It's a whole new vibe right now. We've been holding back on this for a minute. It's finally here. We're gonna get it cracking. Fellas, how y'all doing?
You know what it is, man. Welcome to Inside the Huddle, man. This is something that we've been trying to put together for y'all for the longest time. So we're really excited. It's your boy Mulich. I'm back better than ever. How you guys doing, man?
Oh man, you already know it's Friday. Thank goodness. Actually, I take that back. It's not even Friday. It is Friday up in this motherfucker. Because man, it is a football Friday. You know what it is. Mr. GQ is live and in the building. So let's get it cracking.
Let's get it cracking. This is not how we wanted to open up our first episode here at Inside the Huddle, but so we're gonna open it up this way with the passing of a legend. The GOAT himself, Jim Brown, has passed on. It happened late last night. Natural causes, from everything that I read. It was a peaceful thing, but he's gone. I got introduced to Jim Brown personally through my uncle, who was a running back in during the Jim Brown days. And it kind of it brought me back to a little kid watching Jim Brown highlights. And most people probably know him from movies and stuff like that. They don't know him as the football player Jim Brown, but was the beast at Syracuse, beast with the Cleveland Browns. Um, yeah, man. So it hits a little different today. But give me your feelings on Mr. Jim Brown individually.
All right, man. So when I was first introduced to Jim Brown, it was actually young. I was actually in school and we were watching a documentary about Ernie Davis. Rest in peace to young Ernie Davis. And about his story and everything like that, about how he was at Syracuse and how the great Jim Brown was at Syracuse. So as a young kid, you start to go to the YouTubes and you start to look up these highlights. And when I seen that man run, it was literally life changing. Like it was like I understood why they called him Mr. Cleveland, the Mr. Cleveland Browns, bro. Like he was dynamic in the way he ran, so hard, powerful, like it. And he can catch it out the backfield. Like you can give it to him at any point in time, bro. Like, and he had that breakaway speed that was like no other. His college days was probably cheating, right? Because all you had to do was give him the ball, and it's like move out of the way, bro. You're not gonna stop this man, bro. Like it was absolutely insane, dog. And just looking at his measurables, right? 6'2", 232, bro.
Back then.
Back then. 6'2", 232. Come on, bro. And the man ran like a truck.
Yep. And he ran like a four, I would say like a high 4.3, low 4.4.
It was a good of course, back then we didn't clock the way we clock now, but from my understanding, it was about a 4.34, give or take. Like that was what most of the stuff that I've looked into. So like I don't have the personal connection like you do, Mel. We were a lot younger when all this went down. But
right.
I'm a big history guy. Like I'm a big history guy. So I grew up watching a lot of ESPN Classic because I didn't get to see a lot of these phenomenal players that we talk about because I wasn't born. I was born in '89, so I missed out on a lot of great players that were playing at their peak, before I was born. So I say that because when I was first introduced to Jim Brown, obviously from being the ripe old age of 33, I saw him in a lot of movies, and I was like, man, who is this guy? But then as I watched more and more stuff on ESPN Classic, finally they started talking about Jim Brown. And then I was like, who is this guy? Let me take a look. And I was like, just blown away. Like that's the crazy thing about these old school NFL players. And I'm not saying old as in like they're old, but like Jim Brown is one of those guys that could translate into any generation and be
Yeah, he's
guy.
he's a
Like
football player.
I'm saying right now, like everything we see from Derrick Henry and all that stuff now, bro. Jim Brown was like that plus more speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like you weren't stopping him. And this is at a time when the rules were way different too. Like you could this is when you could still gator roll, but good luck. That man had them big ass legs. You wasn't gator rolling him anyway. But because he was gonna just drag you. He was gonna drag you 15 yards in the end zone. Like it was gonna happen.
I don't know what
like,
a gator roll is.
Like,
please go on YouTube and look up gator
I'm trying to tell you, like this man will stiff arm you into your bench playing with him. Or he'll just flatline you straight up. Like straight up. Like,
and he was elusive. That was the thing about it. Like his open field cuts were absolutely crazy. Like if 100%. You go back and look, his footwork was out of this world. Because at that time, you got to think about it like people do all the ladders and they'll do all the crazy footwork drills and the Mr. Footwork King, all the stuff like that. They wasn't doing all that stuff back in the day and just looking they just go out there and play football and just looking at his work and looking at his elusiveness, his agility, man. Oh,
just put him nowadays with the massive advancements in the fitness industry and the health and the training we use now. Like, first of all, I can imagine him in the weight room. That man was probably an ox in the weight room.
Oh, yeah, and just kind of saying with his footwork, the one thing you didn't want to do, step on his bunion. Look, look, go watch. Look, you'll get the joke if you go watch. I'm gonna get you sucker. That's all I'm gonna say.
Facts. That's big facts.
That is.
But rest in peace to
I'm out of there.
Yeah.
Jim Brown.
Yeah. Rest in peace. We'll do something to honor Mr. Jim Brown at a later date here on Inside the Huddle because he's well deserving of that. So we will celebrate him on this show. That's for sure.
Shout out to his family. I know a lot of people are, aware of his activism work within the Black community. So shout out to that. He's proactive and really proactive in the Black community and activism. So shout out to Jim Brown, man. Definitely.
Big time. And then shout out to the chat. I know we ain't dropped none of the chats on the screen yet. We had to kind of take care of a bit of a serious moment, if you will, and then now we can kind of get back to our, as we'll say, regularly scheduled program.
What up, man?
Yes.
Best shout out to you, YOLO. You only live once. Appreciate you for stopping by.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. But you guys know why we are here. It is time to get the dice rolling here.
It's time to get into it.
Episode 1 was titled "I Took It Personal," and
that personally. If you watched The Last Dance, shout out to me.
I took that personally, right? Yeah. So we're going to start it off with the guy who was the inspiration for today's show, one Davante Adams.
Name twin, shout out to Davante Adams. Appreciate you, boy.
Yeah. So apparently there was a little chatter before he left Green Bay about how Aaron Rodgers may have made him. And we had this conversation. That's why you need to pay attention. We are ahead of things before they happen. We had the conversation about who deserves more credit, quarterback or wide receiver. And apparently this was a sore spot for Mr. Davante because people thought that Aaron Rodgers was the reason he was who he was. So making, an all-pro this season with the Raiders and arguably, in my opinion, had his best season as a pro last season. So he felt that he needed that to kind of validate his space amongst the great wide receivers in the NFL. To you guys, I say, is he validated or this is just a blip on the radar?
Well, I mean, I feel like everybody should be quiet at this point when talking about Davante Adams, because if you want to sit here and say that Aaron Rodgers was responsible for his seasons and his breakout seasons or whatever the case may be, or him being the best receiver of the league, I challenge you to go look at just last season with him and Derek Carr and how everybody slandered Derek Carr, and he still had one of the best, if not his best career season. So we can't sit here and say that a quarterback made him and then he goes to a whole different team with from what everybody says, a substantially worse quarterback, and he still does the same exact thing. That doesn't make any sense. There's no logic in that.
Yeah, when your numbers translate from one team to another and they don't have a drastic dip, clearly it was not the quarterback, because we can do the same thing when it comes to DeAndre Hopkins. How many quarterbacks did he go through in Houston? But look at his numbers.
Right.
I mean, we've seen this before. Look at Andre Johnson. Same concept. Went through a whole bunch of different quarterbacks. But look at his numbers.
Still there.
Larry Fitzgerald. How many quarterbacks he go through in Arizona? But look at his numbers.
Look at his numbers.
Like,
yep.
Like, I hate to say it like this, but numbers don't lie.
Yeah, and this is why we have the conversation. This is a football show, not a show centered around football. There's a difference. We know what we're talking about. This is why we had the conversation about who deserves the credit, and we can break down. There's a different caliber of wide receiver, and there is a different caliber of quarterback. So you can shift the percentage of who gets the most credit based on what you're dealing with. When you're dealing with the supreme talent that Devontae Adams is, he's going to produce no matter where he goes.
Yep.
He's going to be that guy. Now we get to see the other side of that with Mr. Aaron Rodgers. We're taking him from Green Bay. He's going to the Jets. Let's see what happens.
And you can even look at it from last year. Aaron Rodgers, everybody said that the separation of the two, Aaron Rodgers looked substantially worse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't make the playoffs. The everybody wanted to blame all the problems that they had on the defense when it was Aaron Rodgers, and he was complaining, oh, my receiver is this, my receiver is that. And, well, you didn't play through preseason. You didn't practice with none of the receivers. So how are you supposed to develop any chemistry with them?
Yeah, you decided to take a extended vacation in the offseason. But if you, quote unquote, made Devontae Adams, why couldn't you make Romeo Doubs? Why couldn't you make Alan Lazard? Why couldn't you make what's the other rookie receiver you had? I'm missing the speedster that scored basically scored a touchdown damn near every time he touched the ball. Watson? Not Watson. Christian Watson. Yeah, Christian Watson.
Christian Watson.
So
yeah.
What about those guys?
Which
to quote Jay-Z, even though I make Moolage mad with this, we're gonna quote Jay-Z. You say you're made whole. Let's see you make another hole.
Hey,
like this is what Aaron Rodgers was supposed to do, and he didn't do it. So we're going to see just how, because I believe we have a motivated Devontae Adams here in Las Vegas. I think this coming season may be better than his last.
Yeah, the question becomes, what kind of a motivated Aaron Rodgers do we have or not have? Because
right.
I've been on the record saying what I've said about Aaron Rodgers. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is all he's cracked up to be, but that I might be on that island by myself, and that's cool.
Mm-hmm. And we're gonna get there too.
Yeah, we're gonna get we're gonna get there later.
Yeah. Exactly. We definitely gonna get to that later.
Speaking on Devontae Adams, I know there was a lot of reports going around that him and the offense or the head coach wasn't seeing eye to eye. So which rightfully so. I mean, you bring in this guy. He mainly goes there not only because he wanted to play there since he was a kid, but because his best friend's there, and then you ship his best friend off, and then you say that you're gonna bring him in on decisions on the direction of the offense, and say he's yet to be consulted, or if he has been consulted, you go the complete opposite way. So of course there's going to be frustration within your star receiver who came here to play with somebody that you guys shipped off, and then you guys said that you guys were going to take his input into consideration, and then you guys don't. So there's a lot of consideration that has to be going around that. I know that Devontae probably I know there's a lot of money tied into that contract, into that situation, and that he might be looking to be on the outs, but hey, you never know. But that's something big to pay attention to.
I think this, that's what I said last week. I think this is the make or break season on whether the Raiders get to keep Devontae Adams moving forward.
Or Josh McDaniels.
Everything, or Josh McDaniels. Like a lot is riding on this coming season. A lot. At least in my opinion. I could be completely wrong, but I just think a lot is going to weigh heavy on this organization this coming season.
Well, I think it has to, honestly. And I think especially with Josh McDaniels' case, because you take a team that made the playoffs and they don't make the playoffs when you're under the helm, and then you ship basically everybody off. You don't address the real needs of the team. And so now it's like you're under the spotlight, bro. You haven't had a good coaching past. What you're doing now is very, very questionable. There's a lot of people that have been calling for your job since week 4 of last season. So you're definitely on the spotlight. And I understand that the Raiders situation is unique because there's a lot of money tied up into Josh McDaniels, and they don't really have a lot of money to play around with in regards to getting a new coach. But
no, and let's and here's the problem too. The problems for the Raiders probably started with that Arizona loss.
Oh, definitely.
Because they had no business losing that game, first of all. And then let's forget, they had a losing record in one-score games last year. They lost, I believe, all their overtime games last year, which is just unheard of. But then, we continue to highlight that, they shipped off Derek Carr. They also shipped off Darren Waller, which means defenses can now focus on you. Because I'm not worried about Hunter Renfrow beating me over the top. Like, he might beat me in the middle sometime, but he's not going to be the reason the Raiders win a game. Not the sole reason. Absolutely not.
No.
So what else do you have? Yeah, you have Josh Jacobs, but again, I can adjust my defense to slow down a running back and one receiver. I will literally leave a part of the thirds open so you throw to Hunter Renfrow on purpose. And I will tackle his ass where I need to tackle him.
Well, this is why
the shitload of tight ends that they have now. So
but this is why the acquisitions of Michael Mayer coming in, Austin Hooper, who's the other tight end? They brought another one in. There's another one that's fairly good, but I can't remember who it is. OJ Howard.
Okay. Yeah. So what you're saying is Josh McDaniels is going to recreate the 2010 Patriots when we ran the two tight end set.
Right, because didn't they bring in?
It didn't work because Darren Waller was unhealthy.
Because didn't they bring in Nelson Aguilar too?
Yes, because he did. He signed somewhere. I know he's not with the Patriots anymore.
Somewhere else, but I know. Yeah, he's not with the Raiders anymore. They brought.
But he was with the Raiders before. I don't know if they brought him back again. This will be his second stint with him.
Right, I'm gonna definitely go back and double check. So there was a couple. There's another Patriot receiver that came. Oh
no, they got
what's his face?
The one I wanted him to keep. This is what happens when you have long work days, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Jacoby Myers.
I wanted us to keep him, and we did not sign him for some reason, unbeknownst to me.
Yeah,
but whatever.
But we'll see. Like that's why I said a lot of it's going. This season is going to weigh heavy on the future of Josh McDaniels. It's going to, and the ability for the Raiders to hold on to Devontae Adams. There's also rumors lurking. The Raiders are one of the teams looking at to bring in D-Hop if they could split his contract down the middle with the Cardinals. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. I know that Marcus Peters recently visited.
And Marcus,
he did, yeah. I remember we talked about that in the chat before.
We'll see.
And then
problems of the defense in any play, way, shape, or form. But yeah.
The Saquon Barkley situation in New York is oddly intriguing to me. I didn't think I would get too much into it. So apparently Saquon Barkley turned down 2 deals that the Giants had offered. One was kind of okay, where I guess his base salary moving forward would be about $14 million. Right now it's at $10 million, which isn't bad until you start to look at these numbers. Okay, so wrote these down. Right now, Christian McCaffrey per year as a running back has the most amount of money, $16 million a year. Do you know who the next 3 running backs are and how much they make?
Is one of them Nick Chubb?
Yeah, I want to say one is Nick Chubb.
Nope.
My next guess is Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook, yes.
Yeah, because I knew Dalvin got a nice little head from payday. It's either Alvin Kamara or Elliott's the third. Yes,
these are the next 3 running backs that make $15 million a year. Alvin Kamara, the recently cut Ezekiel Elliott, but I think the Cowboys are going to bring him back after they restructure his deal.
It's between the Cowboys and the Bucks. I was looking it up earlier.
Yeah, he's either with Cowboys or the Bucks right now.
And Dalvin Cook at $15 million a year.
Hmm.
This is where it gets absolutely ridiculous for me. At $12 million a year, you have these running backs: Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon.
Yep.
Okay.
Arguably the top 4 running backs in the NFL. Outside of Christian McCaffrey.
Interesting.
I think Saquon really deserves it. I ain't gonna lie to you, especially considering the Giants have yet.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Where do you rank Saquon Barkley, and where do you think he should be monetarily with these guys that I just mentioned?
I think he's, as far as ranking, I think he's around 3 or 4, depending on how Jonathan Taylor plays, honestly, on the Colts. Because right now, for me, I got.
So you're saying Saquon is a top 5 running back in the NFL?
Oh, absolutely. When healthy, absolutely. Because right now I got Chubb, Henry. It's a toss-up between really Saquon and Josh Jacobs, and then it kind of rounds out with Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara, running backs like that. But I think I would say.
So you don't even have CMC as a top 5.
Oh no, I have CMC running like around 6 or 7. He gets hurt too much for me, honestly. When I say running back, I mean running back. Like I'm going to give you the ball, like 20, 25 touches. I can't give CMC 20, 25 touches a game. I'm sorry, because he's not going to last me for the whole season, and I need you to last me the whole season to bring in me a running back.
That's interesting, but you got Saquon Barkley in the top 5.
Oh, absolutely, because a healthy Saquon Barkley, I know for sure if he can stay, if I know he went with that knee injury, but as far as knick-knack injuries and ankle and shin and hand and all that stuff like that, I'm not going to get that from Saquon. Like, I know he's going to play through all that, and he's not going to give a shit. But with CMC,
we had this conversation before.
Yeah.
I believe a healthy Christian McCaffrey is better than a healthy Saquon Barkley.
I don't know. I can't take that. I've been watching both since college, and barring that knee injury, that's been the only knock for me is on CMC, is that he can't consistently stay healthy. Right? It's always, he's banged up here. It's a ankle here, and I get it. Running back is a physical position. That's why I refuse to play it. Right? But it's I see now.
I mean,
there's some hair splitting going on here.
I mean, I'm
doing it because
I love my body too much. Okay, I like contact, but I'm not. That's why I stopped playing linebacker. Okay, I just knew. Hey, I'm not. Nah. I'm trying to walk when I'm 45. All right.
Okay, but let's see what GQ is before I go in. Let's see what GQ is.
All right, so I'm on a slightly different spectrum from Mr. Moolidge. I have Saquon outside the top 5 for the same reason. It's the health issue, because your argument actually validates my argument, because running backs must be healthy. And realistically, if you just take the last, let's say 5 years, really we've had 2 running backs who've had a somewhat consistent track record as far as health goes, and that's Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry. Yes, we know Derrick Henry had the Liz Frank thing, but prior to that, and then even after that, Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry have been essentially the 2 healthiest running backs we've had in football. And Nick Chubb literally gets 17, 18, 19 touches a game. He leans on you. He is like the quietest 100-yard rusher I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's why
I love that about his game, because you don't even realize it. He's kind of like, here's my equivalent, and this might sound crazy. Nick Chubb is the Nikola Jokic of football. He will quietly put up stats that you don't see coming.
No, that's
because right.
All of a sudden, it's the fourth quarter, Browns are down, but then all of a sudden Chubb has 120 yards. Like, where the hell did these 120 yards come from? Because he doesn't catch passes. They don't even throw to him. He is a traditional running back.
Right.
So as far as where I have him outside the top 5. I just do. I don't have a problem. realistic. If I'm them, I had no problem with the Giants offering him that $14 million contract because that's damn near more that he deserves given the injury history because he's starting to get up there in age. So if I pay him 16 million now for the sake of this discussion, and I've got maybe two healthy seasons left of him, is that investment worth it long term?
For the Giants, I would say no.
I was gonna say for the Giants, no.
For a contender, I absolutely would do it because you need to have a bona fide running back to get over the hump. Whatever those contending teams, like if he would have went to a team like the Eagles, I'd have been fine. Or if he went to the Chiefs, I'd have rolled with it. If he'd have went to the Chargers, I'd have been down with the Chargers situation because we don't know what's going on with Dawson Eckler. But if he just goes to any run, if he went to the Texans, that's a bad move. It's very similar to the Albert Hainsworth deal. Like it just wouldn't make sense given the history.
That's what we got to do. We're gonna bring in the Albert Hainsworth deal.
I'm not trying to, but he played for my Patriots too, man. Don't act like we didn't pay him a lot of money too. Shit, we all got burnt up.
Oh, leave big guys alone, man. Oh my gosh.
But that's where I'm at with him. I have him outside my top 5. What say you, Mr.
Mill? Yes, I have Saquon. Now, if we're going to talk health wise, yes, Saquon is a top 5 running back. But if we're going to talk realistically, no. He's right outside of that top 5. If I'm the Giants, I don't pay him because me paying him top running back money doesn't help us in the long term. It just doesn't. So the 14 is about right, I would say, for him. I would say because I'm looking at, because if the argument is Derrick Henry only makes 12 million, well, he's grossly underpaid.
Agreed.
Like that's like he's grossly underpaid. So I'm not going to use that as, well, Derrick Henry's only getting paid 12, so we can't pay Saquon 12. No, that's ridiculous. So, but then you can justify paying Ezekiel Elliott 15. No, you can't. It's ridiculous.
Because he only had 2 good seasons.
Right. So I believe him around $14.5 million a year would be right on par on where a guy like him should be. For me, anyway. If I'm the New York Giants and I'm talking to him, I'm like, look, if our next step is to be a consistent playoff team and a hopeful championship contender, I can't pay you $16 million, bro. I can't. We got to fix this offensive line. We got to find a wide receiver. Like, we got a lot of things we got to do before I can pay you $16 million.
And that's the thing about it. It's just we have to be smart about our situation, right? We don't have a receiver. We just paid Daniel Jones stupidly for $140 million. And our offensive line is still questionable. Our defense is probably the best part of our team. So realistically, thinking about it, it's like, yeah, you are in some people's eyes a top 5, and yeah, you should be paid like a top 5 in some people's eyes. But at the same time, that's not going to help us win, right? You looking for a payday isn't going to help us win. It's the same thing if he was to go to the Texans or if he was to go to the Cardinals, wherever the case may be, one of these weak teams. It's like, yeah, you can go out and look for a payday, but that payday isn't going to help you guys win. You're just going to make a lot of fucking money and probably run for a lot of yards, but you're going to be out of the playoffs with that goddamn year. So it's just smart on the Giants' behalf to offer him the low and be like, yeah, well, this is what we're going to offer you because we still need to go out and try to get a receiver so we can compete. We were in the playoffs against the Eagles last year. And yeah, we did get our doors blown off, but if we have a receiver, who knows what happens, right? If we have a running back that can stay healthy in the playoffs and we go through, who knows what happens, right? Any given Sunday. So I understand where he's coming from. Like, yeah, you deserve the money, right? Like, get what you're worth. But at the same time, the Giants are smart. They're like, yeah, no, we're trying to compete, bro. Like, we know where we're at, and we need to make that. We need to make that push.
Yeah, and then he's in the same situation as DeAndre Hopkins is right now, where yes, your value might be high to someone who really wants to pay it, but where you are, we can't do that because it doesn't help us none.
It's not smart.
Yeah, and then like with DeAndre Hopkins, I saw there's 5 teams that are really interested in D-Hop, but a lot of them want to either split his deal with the Arizona Cardinals, Buffalo and New England would make the trade if the Cardinals would pick up some of that money. I think he would be amazing in both places, and I think maybe probably the missing piece with the Bills to get them to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. What's D Hop's current cap hit?
His current cap hit is 23 19 19.5 million this season.
Okay. So I'm gonna put my GM hat on, and this is if I'm the Bills or the Patriots. I would make the trade happen. I wouldn't worry about the contract right off rip. I would, as long as he agrees to a restructured contract, I'll be fine because I can justify paying him 19 over the next 3 seasons, but not over like 5.
Because okay, I'll tell you right, he has 2 years, 2 years left on his deal.
Okay.
19 and a half this year, basically 15 next year.
I don't think either of those cap numbers are insanely bad.
They're not.
Because given DeAndre Hopkins' numbers, if I'm the Bills, and like you already said, if I'm one receiver away, you tell me you can't take a $19 and a $15 million cap hit over the next. You could now, if you want to play a different game, because we see NFL teams do this all the time. Take some of that money, convert it to a signing bonus, and get it off your books.
Right.
Can I drop DeAndre Hopkins' $19 million cap hit this year to, let's say, 12?
Mm-hmm.
Give him a sign, give him the bonus, and then next year, can I do the same and drop his cap hit to about 7 or 8 million and give him a bonus, or can I spread it out and extend him another year and take? Go for it.
Keep your GM hat on.
I'm with you.
Would you do this? Because I was reading some of the articles and they was talking about how the Odell Beckham contract is what's kind of holding it up. If you're the Bills, or if you're the Bills, Chiefs, there's another team, but I'm gonna hold that one back because that one probably makes the most sense and probably makes them the prohibited Super Bowl team. But I'm gonna hold that one on the back. Would you be willing to pay D Hop $15 million guaranteed to bring him to your team?
Paying 15
meaning you're gonna give him 15 million guaranteed. The other 4 will be the cap hit, or the Cardinals eat that, or y'all split the 15. However you want to do it. But if you're the Chiefs and the Bills, given you want to win that Super Bowl, the Chiefs want to go back to back, whatever it may be, are you willing to put that money up front on the line? Let's bring this dude in.
No hesitation. I'm moving some contracts around.
Yep.
I'm making, because my entire job as a general manager is to bring in the best talent to help my head coach and coordinators be successful. If a guy like D-Hop wants out of a terrible situation, and yes, okay, 15 million is a lot, but let's play the numbers game again. When you talk about the last 10 years, how many receivers are you taking over D-Hop?
Exactly.
No.
Play that game. Because the only one right now that really is not still playing up to that level is Julio Jones because of age and injuries.
Yeah.
D-Hop's situation was he was suspended for some enhancement situations, but as far as health goes, D-Hop's been fairly healthy for a receiver for most of his career.
Yep.
So if I'm the Bills, I'm absolutely considering that.
Definitely.
And I have no problem cutting a couple of receivers on the back end. Mm-hmm. Because he's worth 3 guys that are not Stephon Diggs and Gabriel Davis. Production-wise, he's worth 3 of those guys. Like 3 of those that are not those 2 I just named.
Okay, I'll give you the 3rd team, and you tell me if this makes them a Super Bowl. I think this makes them a Super Bowl champion. I don't even think I'm going past contender. I'm saying they literally wipe out all the curses that was put upon this franchise and all of the dark days that were upon them.
What are you talking about over there?
Deshaun Watson is on record saying he spoke to D-Hop and wants D-Hop in Cleveland. If you put
Super Bowl champ,
I would do this. If I am the Cleveland Browns, Kareem Hunt wants out anyway.
Okay.
I get rid of Kareem Hunt.
They already
He's
drafted
part
a
of
rookie running
my
back anyway.
Yep.
he's part of my trade package to go back to Cleveland. I mean, back to the Cardinals to bring in D Hop. Because if I don't need Kareem Hunt at that point. I really don't.
No,
I have Nick Chubb. I have Elijah Moore, D Hop, and Amari Cooper.
and Donovan Peoples-Jones
Yep.
And Donovan People Jones
and
to
David
go with
Njoku.
David and Joku to go with that defense.
Yeah.
I'm going all in right now if I'm Cleveland. And I hold nothing
Yeah,
back.
here's right out the gate. I would even
Okay.
if I'm Deshaun Watson, I'm like, look, I will give you some money back.
They're restructuring his
Yeah,
contract.
Like I 100% would restructure if I know I can bring him in, because obviously this man got like 250 mil fully guaranteed. Hey, look, I would, and this is just me because I'm the way my mind operates. I don't give a shit about. I do give a shit, but I don't at the same time. Like, yeah, I got my money, cool. I would restructure and I would give up 50 mil out of my 250 guaranteed to bring in D Hop,
Well,
because I know what I have with D Hop and Amari Cooper. One, and two, I also have that much familiarity with D Hop. On top
and you
of
built
that,
you built chemistry
yeah.
last year with Amari.
And then the three, which is arguably the most important part, is now you have Deshaun Watson a full year into the offense now. He finally has had an offseason. You got training camp coming up. You got all this stuff coming up. I absolutely could do that. I would do it because
I would do it in a heartbeat.
I want one of them big, beautiful, fat ass rings. I want one. I want to be able to take the top off and see the football field inside my shit. Like, I want one of those. And
Right.
if any quarterback can do it, Deshaun, and me and Micah, me and DJ Micah B had talked about this before too. I was like, listen, Deshaun Watson is one of the few quarterbacks that his entire skill set translated over to the NFL seamlessly, because he was already a ready-made quarterback. And it's because we had talked about that draft in particular. We knew Patrick Mahomes was good. We know he's going to be what he was now, but we knew what Deshaun Watson was simply because of the defenses that they played. Like, we always talk about that. In college, that's how you can really kind of figure out things about quarterbacks. Some things, like if you played in the Big 12 and played mostly Big 12 defenses, cool, you can score a lot of points against slightly above average talent. Let's play that game.
Yeah.
SEC defenses, Big 10 defenses. All right, now you playing with some dogs now. ACC, if you want to, certain teams, if you want to play that game. Deshaun Watson played against the Alabama Crimson Tide in the national championship game, where 7 of those players on that defense were drafted in the same draft that he was drafted in. And he beat them in the red zone on a speed out to Hunter Renfrow, who plays currently for the Vegas Raiders. That man can easily take a team to the Super Bowl without question and win it. There's a lot of teams where you could take that quarterback away and put Deshaun there, and that team wins the Super Bowl type of situation.
Well, all you got to do is go back and look at the last year he played with Houston. He led the league in passing. I don't think anybody understands that.
He led the league in passing with a terrible team.
You couldn't name their receiving corps.
Like, they were terrible.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, because D-Hop was gone.
Yeah.
Like, I think Will Fuller was his most experienced running receiver at that time. And
he was in Miami.
Out of the lineup.
He was in Miami.
In his last year, that was the Jeremy Tunsil deal, wasn't it?
He was already gone. Yep.
Yeah, that was the part of the Jeremy Tunsil deal. You sure right.
It was.
That's how crazy, that's how talented Deshaun Watson is.
And
that's how talented.
Like, we forget how great, not even good, how great he is. One, look at the numbers in Houston. When do you think Houston's going to ever draft a quarterback that's in their first 6 years are going to put up the numbers that Deshaun did? Because it ain't the current quarterback they drafted. I'm telling you that right now. Absolutely not.
Oh yeah, no.
Like, and I'm not knocking him, but Deshaun Watson is damn near a once in a generation type of a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, the build, the athleticism, the arm, the accuracy. Like, if he would have been in a similar situation to Joe Burrow in Cincinnati, he would have an MVP right now.
I would tell you this
maybe 2
right now. I'd say this right now. If they don't destroy the Houston Texans offense the way that they did, we would not be talking Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. It would be Mahomes and Watson.
Well,
because, and not to mention the games that they play, him and Mahomes played against each other.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Like, Deshaun held his own with lesser talent.
Yes. Deshaun had the Chiefs down big at halftime 1 year.
They were down 24-3.
24-3 in the playoffs, mind you. If it wasn't for the heroics of play calling of Andy Reid and that defense, literally
not even that. If the Texans would have just had a slightly above average defense, they'd have beat the Chiefs. But they had a trash defense. Their defense was like ranked number 28th or 29th at that time. Yeah. Like they were terrible.
And even a 20 ranked defense.
Yes, if they would have had the 20th ranked defense, I feel like they could have made it one interception, one big key sack on third down. Something would have changed the entire landscape of the history of the NFL, really and truly. But honestly, that's how good Deshaun Watson is. If you take him, I would stake money on this. So your GOAT, Troy, if you're listening, clip it. If you were to take Deshaun Watson and plug him onto the Los Angeles Chargers, they would be in contention for a Super Bowl right now with that receiving core and those running backs. Stake it.
They would probably win one, considering.
Hey, first of all, we're not going to talk about my man Justin Herbert like he trash.
No. It's not a slight. It's not a slight. It's not a slight.
It's not a slight. Trust me. Their coach is ridiculous.
It's for sure the coach. Even though I like to troll Justin Herbert because Chargers fans, and I know a lot of Chargers fans out of nowhere recently because Chargers didn't have any fans until 2010. But anyways, I do believe that Deshaun Watson. I do believe that now that you really break it down and really see when you really look at the Browns in a wider picture, considering they get Deshaun for a whole year now, right? They get that whole revamped offense. They're restructuring his contract, so now you have money to play around with, and you can bring in a player like the D-Hop. You have that defense with the Myles Garrett and the Denzel Ward.
The Darius Smith that they just signed.
Smith now.
Yeah. Like the Cleveland Browns made a whole lot of quiet moves in the offseason. Like they really didn't make a lot of noise, but they're relevant moves.
Yeah. I'm not saying that, it's a guarantee, but hey, they're up there. They're for surely up there. Like that division.
Their division's up for grabs. That division is definitely up for grabs.
We're gonna do that. I'm gonna go through. We're gonna do this since we're doing one team because we're gonna get into the Jets and the Giants schedule. So we're starting in the AFC and the NFC East. So I'm gonna give y'all some notable signings from each division, each conference.
Okay. Gotcha.
More division. Sorry, each division. Because we always talked about the Bills and they signed Latavius Murray, which I think is a very good signing for them.
Wow.
They needed a running back.
Just a consistent.
Wait, so who the Bill signed him?
Yeah.
Oh wow. So you got him. You got Naheem Hines.
Yeah.
And you still got Cook. You still got James Cook.
Yeah. James Cook.
That's interesting.
So that's a good thing. They re-signed Jordan Poyer. They extended Jordan Poyer for 2 more years. So that was important for them.
They almost fumbled that bag.
Oh, they sure did.
Yeah.
Oh, they sure did.
The Dolphins, listen here. I don't like what the Dolphins are doing because they are literally trying to make the fastest team in creation.
You mean they did make the fastest team in creation?
It got worse. I'm going to tell you how. Okay, so they signed Mike White, so he's no longer a Jet. He had to get up out of there.
Yep.
They signed Braxton Berrios.
Oh, wow.
And Robbie Anderson.
Oh, wow.
Didn't he change his name to Chosen or something?
Chosen Anderson. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. So, okay. So again, this all Madden created track team that they have going on. Because you already had Raheem Mostert, who was also one of the fastest running backs in the league.
Yeah.
Like, good night. I think the only position that's not as fast as the others is quarterback.
It's quarterback, which is why I'm glad Mr. Lamar did not end up going to the Dolphins.
Oh, if Lamar would have went, their average speed would have been 4.3.
Yeah.
Their average speed.
So shout out to Miami for building the 28 U.S. track team.
Yeah, and shout out to Miami for building around Tua too, because there was a lot of rumblings and things. I mean, I know he had a rough season. I'm not taking up for him because as a quarterback, you should learn how to protect yourself as best you can given the situation. And you cannot fall on the back of your head. But we'll talk about this in a much later show. But the NFL did approve of a new helmet for quarterbacks based on the metrics of, especially what happened with Tua last year. There's much more padding, especially on the back of the head. So we talked about this being a football show, which means, guess what? We're going to talk about things y'all might not think about, like helmets.
So, which is very important.
We went through the same thing. I also got a new helmet approved too.
100%. So, hey, you got to protect the head. You only got one.
Yep.
You got one head, one brain, and you need both.
Yep. Um, I was doing the Patriots, but I was rushing. I don't know who this first person is that I put, so I'm gonna have to double check on that one. But I forgot who that is. But old Bill got his mobile quarterback, old Chase McSorley.
Okay.
Yep,
That's
Trace
okay.
McSorley. Trace McSorley out there in New England. Look
He'll
out for
learn a lot.
the Trace McSorley packages are coming. James Robinson signs
Yeah,
with the Patriots,
we
and
signed
oh
him.
my,
Yeah, last year.
yeah, and Mike Gesicki is out there, so he got that
So
tight
we
end record.
so we have. Oh, that's right, because John Smith is in Atlanta now,
Yep.
but we still
Mhm.
have Hunter Henry. So we have Hunter Henry and Mike Gesicki,
Yep,
two above average red zone threats
Red zone threat.
which
at
is
tight
good,
end, which is
which is
great.
good for which is great for
Great.
what the Patriots want to
It's
do.
great for Mac Jones because they love to bootleg him a lot in the red zone. So that's great to have two guys
Mhm.
like that with big giant catch radiuses.
Yep. And then the Jets, they're Chuck Clark. I like Chuck Clark, but I don't know what he's going to do too much with that because the Jets have a very young secondary. I guess he's
Mhm.
there for veteran leadership mostly,
Yeah,
and
probably in mentoring and whatnot.
Definitely, yeah.
yeah, and we talked about Miko Hardman already. Um, we talked about everybody on the Cowboys. The Giants, I didn't know they signed Paris Campbell and Jamison Crowder to the Giants.
So because Crowder played for he played for the was it the
He-
Jets or was it
he-
Washington?
both.
Both.
Well, I meant last season. I know he played for both, but I mean last season. I don't
Oh,
remember which team he
last
played
season he
for.
was on the Jets. He was on the
Oh,
Jets last
okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay,
year. They also made two defensive pickups that were very eye-opening to me. They signed Ashawn Robinson, who is a very underrated defensive lineman.
okay.
Okay.
Go watch the Rams games and you'll know what I'm talking about. And
Okay.
then Bobby O'Curie, I forgot
Bobby
he was on that.
Oh, they
Okereke.
signed
Yeah,
Okuri.
yeah, from
Hey,
the Colts.
dog. He's a dog. Bobby
He's a
Okereke.
dog.
Dog.
Why did Indy let him walk?
I don't know. I don't understand that.
Because
Especially when
that defense in Indy was good, and he was a part of that.
he's a
Yeah,
very big part of that. And you can't keep
Like
Darius Leonard healthy. We've seen that. And
no,
Bobby
because
Okereke
you're
is the one who steps up every
that's a
time.
good 7.5 sacks you just let go.
Yep. Not
yep.
to mention
Like
turnovers.
hmm
easy.
And you have him on the other side of Thibodeau. That might get a little crazy.
You might have two players that have damn near 10 sacks next year.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep,
Especially
There's a chance. I'm not saying it'll happen, but there's a chance.
yep. The Eagles brought in my man Marcus Mariota, so
Interesting.
that works. They brought him in. Um, we
Does that
talked
mean
about Rashard.
does that mean they let the stash go, Minshew?
oh yeah. That did.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty.
Where did
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. I gotta find out where he went. I gotta find out.
I feel like he went to Miami. I feel like I read it somewhere. He either went to Miami or he went somewhere. I want to say he went to the AFC,
Mhm.
but I'll look
I'm a,
I'll look that up in a little bit. But
yeah. And then Terrell Edmonds was the other guy that the Eagles signed. So another guy in that
very nice.
secondary. They replaced Mike.
Colts.
What's
Gardner Minshew went to the Colts.
Oh, he went back to he did go to the AFC, but he went to the Colts. Okay.
okay, cool. All right. So we got to that. Now we get to the meat and potatoes. 'Cause we get to the Jets and Giants schedule breakdown and
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
where what their schedule looks like. We're going to give our predictions on what their record would be and where they're going to finish. Well, we'll do the records right now. We'll break down at the end of all of this how it all works out for everybody. But
100%.
yeah, I don't have the schedules though. Who
I
got
do.
schedules?
I got you.
All right.
This is me time, ladies and gentlemen. This is
Right.
where I come
So
in to make my
GQ.
contributions to the show.
Yep. So we pass the mic to GQ. It's on you, brother.
So, fellas, do we want to start with the punk ass Jets led by the ashwagandha community, or do we want to start with the not so big G men?
Oh, we're gonna start with the ayahuasca man himself.
All right, let's start with the
Talking about,
Rogers
the
company.
Darkness General.
Yeah, the darkness. All right,
The
so
Darkness General.
So here's what we'll rock and roll with. So I will run down the schedule, make sure I ain't gonna speak too fast. I'll speak nice and clear so y'all hear what we got going on, and then we'll get our predictions. So starting in week 1, they are visiting the Carolina Panthers. Week 2, they are playing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by good old Baker Mayfield.
I'm
Week
putting
3,
that as a as an L. Okay, go
Week
ahead.
3, you have got the New York Giants. Oh wait, that was all. Oh, those are preseason games. Ain't that some
Those are
shit?
preseason. Oh, that's
Yeah.
preseason. Okay.
Okay, even better. That means their regular season.
Keep
Oh,
going.
they starting. Oh, that's right, because they're starting with the Buffalo Bills. That's right. We remember that Monday Night Football.
Yep.
We talked about that. Then they follow that up with the Dallas Cowboys, the New England Patriots, Kansas City Chiefs, Denver Broncos.
Oh yeah, we cooking. We cooking. We cooking.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, we cooking.
They have a bye week in week 7.
They gonna need it.
And right after that bye week, they've got Giants, Chargers, Raiders, Bills, and Dolphins.
Oh, come on, brother. All right,
We've only gotten to week 12, ladies and gentlemen. We ain't even got to the end. That's just through week 12 right now.
Let's get to these dubs and L's.
The Falcons, the Texans, the Dolphins, the Commanders, and they finished the season with Cleveland and New England.
Oh, I think I'm feeling real good about my 6-11.
I feel good about 6-11. Hell, but like, and
6-11.
I'm trying to find where the 7th might be. Like the only. Nah, I think 6-11 is pretty solid. Like, look,
I'm feeling real good about
their first 7 games are terrible.
Yes.
Like,
okay, let's do that. Let's walk through. Walk this. We're gonna have this. We're gonna call this segment the walkthrough. This is what we're gonna do. This is the walkthrough. We're gonna go through it 1 through 17 and chalk these L's up for these bum ass Jets.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, GQ. Let's see. Let's see what we come up with at the end of all this.
Let's start with these Buffalo Bills, man. What y'all think? What's the over under here, guys, for our bettors? What's the over?
Man, look.
That's the L if you ask me.
Yeah, that's just a flat L. Like, I'll be shocked if the Bills aren't favored by. The Bills should be favored by. I'm gonna be
5.
Crazy. You say 5. I'm saying more like 7.5. 8.
Is it a home game? Is it a home game or a away game for the Bills?
It is it's an away game
for the Bills.
Yeah, it's a away game for the Bills.
So I give them 5 because the home team normally.
Yeah,
so I give them 5.
I give them 7.5 if it was home, but in away game, cool. I'll give them 5. I still think the Bills will be favored though.
Yeah, the Bills definitely be favored in that game.
I would say Bills by 6. The Bills by at least a touchdown, only because. Well, even though I don't trust you, I don't trust you.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna go out on a limb because I think I called this one. I'm gonna say this. This is gonna be the first game out the chute for them. They're gonna have all the excuses. This is double digit. This is 2 touchdowns. I'm gonna say.
Are we going 10 or 14?
I'm gonna go 12. I'm gonna go right in the middle.
Okay, bet. I can understand that in the middle. I like that. So far, bettors, Mel has the over for 12.
Wait, yeah, I got the over.
So just let everybody know. But yeah, honestly, I can honestly see that happening. I can see the excuses. I can see everybody kind of, they're trying to put it together, and Aaron Rodgers wasn't practicing in the preseason and blah 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 and stuff like that, and they end up getting.
I don't want to hear it.
But
no,
in the same breath, I can understand them kind of making it close, and Aaron Rodgers, being the vintage Aaron Rodgers, and they fuck around and lose by 3. So the only way I see them losing week 1,
and now I'll be. For the discussion, I will be that guy on the other side and play a little bit of. I'll take Mel's role for this segment, being that devil's advocate, just a little bit, because there is a chance that the Jets win this game too. Because we talked about this, and I've been on the record for this too, because we know this, and I will say it for those who have missed out on this hot take nugget here. Josh Allen is the worst red zone quarterback in football.
That is true.
Very true.
And the Jets have a top 7 defense. We're not going to sleep on that. The Jets defense is very good. So if Josh Allen fucks around and finds out, they could lose this game.
Right. No, 100%. But I'm going to bank it on not happening.
I'm going to bank it on Rodgers throwing 2 interceptions in this game, and that's how they lose.
Now, see, I can play devil's advocate, and I can say I'm banking on Josh Allen throwing a crucial interception in the red zone, and that's how they lose because he just knows how to get that game.
I am just banking all of this on the Jets just jetting it out because – one, we got Sauce Gardner doing photo shoots with sauce on his hands.
You see what the sauce stuff on there was like this? Hold on.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers with his ayahuasca.
Water, man. Dipped
They,
in
they,
butter, bro.
they going to Hollywood. They're gonna get to Hollywood. It's gonna torpedo themselves.
Trying to go Joe Namath without winning anything. All right, let's shift on over to this Cowboys game.
That's in Dallas, or is that in New York?
It's in Dallas. In
That's
Dallas.
That's at Jerry World.
So I'm gonna go ahead and go on the record. This is one of the 6 that I do have the Jets winning because I don't trust Dallas.
Well, Aaron Rodgers does have,
and
he owns the
Dallas's
Cowboys
numbers in that stadium. On let's look like in that stadium too. Like you could call Jerry World Rodgers Town for a day if you really wanted to.
Honestly, if you wanted to, every time Aaron Rodgers goes there, you can call it Rodgers World shit because
that's one of the few. That's one of the 6 for me. I don't know where y'all are, but that's definitely one of the 6.
You think they should have signed? You think they should give Saquon the money from the sideline or what?
Yep.
Week 3, the New England Patriots, the revamped New England Patriots at that, because there's a lot of sneaky, quiet signings that continue to happen, and we already know how the Patriots operate. They operate very, very Bruce Wayne Batman like. You just don't know when shit happens until shit happens.
And this one is where? Where's this one at? This back
game
in Jersey?
It's in New York, in MetLife Stadium.
MetLife, yeah.
No, screw that. I'm still taking Bill on this one. I'm still taking Bill.
With the game being in week 3 so early in the season, give me New England because our defense is really still together. And Rodgers and company will probably not have their shit together by then. Right. But here's what I will do, because I like throwing little nuggets out there all the time. The Patriots will win this game because of James Robinson, because Bill Belichick is petty as hell and loves former players go off on their former teams. So don't be surprised if James Robinson, for all my fantasy football people out there, listen to this nugget I'm dropping on you. Don't be surprised if he's one of those guys, not even the carries. Just don't be surprised if he has a random 3-touchdown game that you didn't see coming, because that's how the Patriots operate. Don't be surprised if that's exactly how the Patriots win this game is because of James Robinson.
I believe it.
I don't think we need to spend much time on this week 4 game, but we'll talk about it. They play against the Chiefs.
Oh, that is
Sunday night football.
That is going to be, I believe, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes have actually played against each other.
Oh, so he's gonna see this ass whooping in live in 3D. So that's cool.
Yeah,
he get to see the future.
So that one's going to be supremely overhyped.
Yep.
We can expect that one to
the rating is going to be crazy for that game. The ratings.
I love that it's a Sunday night football game. I think that's what makes it great.
Yeah.
And it could be that game could have fireworks. There's a chance that game has some fireworks. I really want to see Kansas City's seasoned secondary in year 2.
Yeah.
Because they have got a lot of experience all the way to the Super Bowl. I'm ready to see just how good that young secondary is now. I think it'll be really good.
Yeah, we're gonna see both secondaries. We're gonna see that Jet secondary going, have to go and deal with Patrick Mahomes and all them things that they got going on over there. Still gonna be a loss for the Jets, though.
And they go from New York to the other side of the United States of America, and they go to Denver to play the Broncos. High altitude is a factor.
I think they win that game. I don't trust Russell Wilson.
I'm on the other side of that fence. I think the Broncos will pull that one off.
Yeah, I'm taking Denver on that.
There's a good chance that Denver has Javonte Williams back by that time as well. According to the reports, he may actually be ready for training camp. If they have Javonte Williams and finally, Sean Payton has got his hands on Russell Wilson and finished the mold, they can win this game.
That's the big thing for me, right? I think it's gonna come down to how Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, how they essentially mesh together, and how that offense looks come week 1. Is it stagnant? Is it confusing? Is it fluent? Is it flowing?
Well,
what I'm saying.
If we know anything about Sean Payton, stagnant is not what Sean Payton does.
True, but if you know anything about Russell
he
Wilson,
has on multiple occasions he has had the highest scoring offense in football. So we've seen. I'm not saying that's what the Broncos are going to be this year, but if he can capture what
they'll have a top 10 offense this year.
Yeah, and you also forget that Tim Patrick will be back from injury, which was going to be Russell Wilson's favorite target. I do think he would have been his favorite target. I think Tim Patrick would have been huge for them last year before they just spiraled out of fucking control and Russell Wilson burnt up the whole kitchen.
Yeah, and the only reason why I say that is because Russell Wilson is known to not necessarily trust coaches like that. That was his problem in Seattle. He didn't really trust Pete Carroll, and Pete Carroll wanted to try new things and try to be innovative, and Russ like, no, I want to do what works, and I know this is going to work. And
I think this situation
is different.
I think
this
it's gonna be
is a
different.
proven offensive guy.
I have to see.
Yeah,
it first.
like Pete Carroll is a. I'm not gonna say he's just like a defensive guy. What I will say about Pete Carroll, he's the all-around type of coach. He could coach all three levels about the same. Sean Payton excels in offense, like excels.
True.
He's very good at this offensive thing. Like when we talk about all these offensive gurus that we have now, Sean Payton laid a lot of groundwork for some of these guys too, just because of the innovative offense. Like a lot of the explosive plays that he had in 2010 when the Saints was just blowing the doors off of everybody with points they were scoring. He was throwing the ball to a guy that we kind of knew, and well, we knew, the three of us knew, but most people didn't know who three of those receivers were.
No.
Like you were like, man, who's that guy number 11? Just keeps catching touchdowns. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Like
That's true. That's
so
true.
Another game that we'll see. This may be this will be a fun. This will be a fun game for sure. But I think this is a blowout. But they play against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I feel like this is a blowout.
Right before the bye week. And they finna go into that bye week with their tail tucked between their legs.
As of right now, going into the bye week, after they lose to the Eagles, I got them sitting at a whopping 1-5.
Woo!
Yeah, 1-5. Do you not see? Y'all don't know what New York is going to do to the Jets if they go into the daggone bye week 1-5.
Oh no, we know. The three of us on this panel know. The media is gonna massacre them worse than they've ever roasted the Knicks.
If Aaron Rodgers ever needed an ayahuasca hit, he gonna need it on that daggone.
He better take that ayahuasca trip during the bye week and just disappear because he can't walk around New York if they 1-5.
No, he cannot.
He might as well just go ahead and fly back to some remote island that nobody knows where he at. Like, my address is, let me send you the grid coordinates because that ain't an actual address type shit.
Honestly, I think you guys are wrong because at the end of the day, this is the Jets we're talking about, and we're used to them being mediocre. We're used to them being trash. So they're trash.
But not with Aaron Rodgers.
Not with a quote unquote, type of quarterback like this.
But how many times have we seen this story before, and this is supposed to be a new revamped, and then they come out there and they be butt. So
we ain't never seen them bring a perennial Hall of Fame quarterback in on the tail end of his career, and
old Brett Favre don't count.
No,
see, exactly at the tail end. See, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. Hold on, it's the thing, right? Because he's following in that Favre way footsteps, man.
And look, they were actually successful with Favre
They
in New York.
They were,
and in Minnesota. But
in Minnesota, I commend him more. In Minnesota,
Minnesota was I thought he was gonna do it, boy. If it wasn't for Bounty Gate, I think he would have. I think he
made a believer out of me that year for sure.
Yeah,
that was some of the best you've ever seen him play.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Interceptions were down, like everything was.
I don't believe the hype. I don't care. I want to see it first. And when I see y'all get, I'm telling you, when I see him get blown out, it's up. It's over. It's over.
I mean, but the three of us are what we call rational human beings. All right.
Yeah.
Let's just be real. We're not delusional New York fans or delusional Cowboys fans.
No.
We're not them.
And I'm from New York. That's the crazy thing about it. What is that? Oh, I didn't see it.
I have something about FTSL. I'm not FTSL, and I don't. Okay.
That's Troy trolling.
Of course. Let Troy do his thing. All right. So speaking of Troy, ironically, right out the bye week, they have the Little Giants.
The Little That is the funniest thing ever. I swear. I don't care. I will always love that because that is the most hilarious thing ever, man.
Yeah, this underdog don't win in the end.
Hey, that's definitely true because they're always the underdog for a good reason, honestly.
Right.
But the battle of New York, the battle of New Jersey.
Yeah, but in this particular game, and it's weird because it says the game is at New York Giants, but it's the same. You know how it is. These home and home games. It's like that Lakers Clippers thing. Like it's like it's a home game for both teams. All right, there's gonna be matching colors all across this fucking stadium. That's just how it is. But this is also one of the few games that I do think the Jets will win. I think coming out of the bye, they'll evaluate a few things, and I do think they'll beat the Giants, and I think they'll beat the Giants by 2 touchdowns.
I think so. I think so too, honestly.
Yeah.
And they need it. They need this tune-up game. And I say that to say this because week 9, they have got the Los Angeles Chargers on Monday Night Football.
Which is going to be a battle because that defense is revamped. Everybody on that defense is healthy. This is going to be a test for the Jets' young defense to see if they can contain Herbert and those receivers. This is going to be a battle. I'm really excited for this one right here.
Is this thing on?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Austin Eckler, bring your ass back. Don't leave.
Yeah.
Please don't leave.
He ain't going nowhere.
Don't do that, man. I want to see this running back.
I need you on my fantasy team, and I know what you're going to do with the Chargers, and I don't know what you're going to do if you go to the wrong organization. But 2,
also true.
You were made to be a Charger, man. That powder blue, when you run the ball, looks phenomenal. It looks like it just moves at the speed of light when you run sometimes. Like, just come on back to the Chargers. Because when I say that, this game is on Monday night. The Chargers going to beat that ass.
Yeah.
They win this game by no less than 10.
I was gonna say, yeah. I said I'm on the same. I was gonna say 11.
Like
10, 11.
The over-under on this game will probably be like 48.5.
I would say so.
I think so. Just be given the 2 offenses. I'm gonna say 48.5 because I want to give respect to the defenses of both sides. But I think 48.5 is probably about right.
Yeah,
that's assuming. Right. But this game is gonna come down to which Chargers team shows up. Because there is 2 sides to this Chargers story.
Oh
and when we get to the west side, boy, I'm gonna have a lot to say about that because he is on my list, and we'll talk about that in a couple of weeks or so. All right, so week 10 for my Vegas Raiders fans, that is what's on deck. Sunday Night Football. You got a prime time game.
We're prime times back to back
against the Jets.
You better show up because they go.
And the game is in Vegas at that beautiful Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah. I got a dope picture. I had a photographer just sent me. Matter of fact, I put it in the group chat so y'all can see it. Just sent me a dope ass picture of the stadium. Yes. On top of that, we're gonna be rolling at that point. Raiders gonna be rolling, and we're gonna roll right through them damn Jets.
Hey, like Kodak said on the Breakfast Club, I hope so.
And so they follow that up with the Buffalo Bills. They'll be traveling to Buffalo in November, which means there's a good chance that there may be some snow on the ground.
Oh, he'll be in his element, right? That's what he said, right? He'll be in his element. He play a Lambo. He'll be good.
Yeah, but I'm just, I'm just saying it might be one of those nice little snow games. This is the week before Thanksgiving, so it's the week of Thanksgiving. Excuse me for being wrong about that. So this will be good.
Outside.
Yeah, and then a couple days later, on the 24th, they've got the Miami Dolphins on Friday afternoon football. This is a 3 p.m. game in New York.
Wow.
So I feel bad for the Dolphins because they will probably be playing in snow because it'll probably snow at MetLife Stadium in November. There's a good chance it might. New York's weather's weird.
It'll be brisk. It'll be a good 40, 30 degree day.
It's definitely gonna be cold. That ain't up for that's good. It's gonna be cold. Following that they have 2 games that are winnable.
Should be winnable.
But they could split this. And they have the Atlanta Falcons and the Houston Texans. I bundled them together because I don't have a lot of faith in either of these teams, and I figure we could probably kill 2 birds with 1 stone with this.
They'll get their 2 dubs on there. They'll get back wins.
And these are both home games as well. So
they'll win those 2. We're good.
I'm with you. And these are 1:00 games. The average NFL fan is probably going to completely skip over these games anyway. I imagine the over-unders for these games will probably somewhere in the low 40s, like probably around the 43, 44 range.
I would say that.
Well, the Atlanta game will be higher than the Texas game. Atlanta may be around 46. Texans game will probably be around 43, realistically, because I don't see a lot of explosion coming out of Houston as far as offensively. I could be wrong, but right now they're not there yet. Back to the track meet. Week 15 in Miami this time at Hard Rock Stadium in December. So you know how Florida gets in December.
Okay.
It's gonna be popular.
You know what? I'll do this. I gave them the L the first time they played the Dolphins. I'll give them the win. So they'll win. They'll go on a 3-game win streak. Dolphins, Houston, Atlanta.
Hey, New York.
But they're gonna get
when that happened. But then they're gonna follow the following week.
Yeah, they're gonna get their doors blown off in Miami.
So they got that, and then they'll follow that Miami game up. They've got the Washington Commanders.
Oh, they're gonna be.
They're not beating.
And I think that Washington Commanders team by week 16 on Christmas Eve, mind you, which is
we're gonna be rolling. That's my birthday present.
Yeah,
that's gonna be my birthday present.
Commanders, y'all listening? Make sure y'all give my man OG Male,
Yeah.
the perfect birthday present, and blow the doors off of Rodgers and company. All right, Chase Young, I need about 4 sacks from you, dog. Four of them
Yeah.
things. Give me 4. 1,
He
2,
put
3, 4 of them
he,
things.
he playing for he playing for a contract, so we gonna get
Yeah,
that.
I need all that. I need you to be the sack leader by week 16,
Mm-hmm.
and I need the rest of that offense to just show up and show out.
I don't know about being a sack leader because you still got boys like.
I know. I'm just when you boys, boys playing for
got-
contracts, man, they be inspired.
That's
Yeah,
true.
you just aim for the-
That's true. I'm
Like
not.
we've seen some crazy things happen. Like when Myles Garrett got that contract, what did he do the year before?
That's true.
He blew the doors off sacks.
That I ain't gonna lie, that's definitely true. But I'm just saying, Red Gloves over there in New England might have something to say about that.
Oh, I know. Oh, trust me. I know about Matthew Judon. We know Judon very well.
Yeah, I know you know because that boy is something crazy over there.
Mm-hmm. Week 17, Cleveland Browns. They are traveling and Thursday night football. This could be one of the better Thursday night football games. I think Cleveland wins, but I think this game is closer than we give it time for, only because of the timing of this game.
Yeah.
I do think this game will be closer. I do still think Cleveland prevails. I think Cleveland prevails by at least, I'm going to say at least 9. But it's going to be a hard 9. It's going to be a hard 9. It's not going to be an easy 9. Like, they're going to have to, kick a field goal. And defense going to have to, come up with a turnover type of situation while Rodgers is trying to drive down the field type of situation. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the show, that's the type of analysis I like to do. I like to break things down by key plays that may or may not happen in a football game. So when I'm right, clip it. Don't be surprised. Mm-hmm. That's all. So week 18, it is a TBD game because what people don't know about the current NFL schedule this year, all games are up for grabs. All games are flexible after week 7. So this game is TBD based on the current landscape of the playoffs. We might not even see this game because the Jets will be so far out of playoff contention that they don't want to see the New England Patriots beat the shit out of them.
No, and I'm going to give them the W because the Patriots will have home field. They'll have the division wrapped up. It won't be too much for them. And literally, that will be the Jets' 6th win in my book. That's how accurate I was on this motherfucker. Now, I'm so curious to see what's going to happen.
So for me, I'm giving New England the win simply because Bill would love a chance to beat the shot of Aaron Rodgers not once but twice.
He is headed like that too.
So, he is headed like that. You see where I'm going with? I'm trying to think how Bill would think, and I'm like, I can beat Rodgers twice.
If they go 5-12, oh my god, oh my god,
they'll be calling for Rodgers' head time yesterday.
Yes.
All right. This Giants schedule. All right. Let me make sure I'm not in the preseason this time. All right. They don't even had a preseason on this one. What the hell is wrong with these people? All right. So I'm gonna break this down in the quarters so we can kind of play the game here. All right. So in the first quarter, you got the Cowboys, the Cardinals, the Niners, the Seahawks, and the Dolphins.
Cowboys, Cardinals,
the Niners, the Seahawks, and the Dolphins. So you've got in that mix, you have a Sunday night football game, a Thursday night football game, and a Monday night football game in the first quarter. So the Giants got a lot of primetime games.
2 and 3.
Right out the gate. 2 and 3? What say you, Mel? You say 2 and 3?
I'm going 2 and 3.
We're all on the same sheet of music. I'm saying 2 and 3 as well. All right, second quarter. You have got the Bills, Sunday night football. You've got the Commanders, the Jets, the Raiders, and the Dallas Cowboys. Normal start time, like one of them 425 type of games.
1 and 5.
Yeah, I'm 1 and 5 on that one too. Like I'm saying 1 and 5. There's a chance that they're 2 and 4. There's a chance, but there's a chance because we know this about the NFC East specifically. That division is all over the fucking place.
Yep, goes back and forth every single.
You could literally be the better team and lose, or you can be, ironically, you could be the Giants when they played the Eagles and had them dead to rights, and the Eagles made one of the biggest comebacks you've ever seen, thanks to Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson. So that's how crazy that division can be. So, but realistically, I'm gonna still roll with that. I think 2 and 5 is right on pace with it. Third quarter,
losing. I'm beating the Raiders. That's their 1 win.
Fair enough. You got Commanders, Patriots, a week 13 bye week sprinkled in there. The Green Bay Packers, New Orleans Saints to round that out.
Damn, that's a late ass bye.
That is a late bye, but that may bode well for him, hell, given whatever the injury situation might be like.
It probably will, honestly,
because Saquon might get injured by week 6.
I would push it to like 7-8.
All right.
Push it like 7-8 because then he gonna play that Jets game and then he gonna sit out that.
Yeah. So I actually have them going winless in that particular time. In the third quarter, I have them going winless.
I don't see them.
Like, again, you said Washington,
New England, a bye, and then Green Bay, New Orleans.
I actually think Green Bay on Monday night is probably gonna beat them. By week 14, by week 14, we will truly know what Mr. Love truly is. But he has the type of receiving weapons to be really, really good.
That's true.
If Matt LaFleur can pull his head out of his ass and pull Jordan Love from irrelevance
to relevance, take a while.
It could, like, Green Bay by this time of the season, Green Bay could be looking at 7 wins. Could be.
Yeah,
they always do start to jail late.
We'll cross that North Bridge when we get to the North, but that's just a preview. Make sure y'all paying attention.
Y'all here.
I'm like Morpheus in this thing. I'm giving you a glimpse in the future. Make sure you pay attention when it comes back to fruition.
Plant seeds. Come back and see.
So to round out this thing, the New Orleans Saints, Philadelphia Eagles, Los Angeles Rams, and a flexed game of the Philadelphia Eagles again.
It's crazy. They got.
Oh wow.
So
they might just win. They got one game out of that.
I'm with you on that, and I think that one is probably the Rams because I think the Saints will beat them. I think Philly will. Now, and it's hard to say. Like I said, this particular division, it is just. We all might think, they're gonna, Philly will blow them out, and then somehow Philly will do something that don't make no kind of sense and lose this game.
Well, I say that last game, considering it's a flex, and they probably.
That's true. So if it's a game that doesn't matter, there's a good chance they can win that game.
So we'll give them 2 because the Eagles will probably own the division by then.
Yeah, hell, they'll probably own the division by week 16.
Right.
Unless somehow like Dallas stays relevant or Washington decides to make a hell of a run, like which is not impossible.
That's never impossible.
It's not impossible, because we know the history of this division. The last team to win back-to-back is the Commanders. That's the last team to do it. Yep. So it's not impossible that Washington remains relevant in this division for most of the season. We just got to see what the quarterback situation comes down to, and we got to see what Eric Bieniemy and company really gets going.
Right. Okay. True indeed.
So it looks like, because the way we did this, and shout out to Mel for picking the Jets and Giants, because we did pick both of these teams to finish last in their respective divisions. Given the way we predicted the records, it clearly panned out accordingly. So, Mr. Mulich, I got a question for you.
Shoot.
So, Mr. OG Mel picked the Jets and the Giants. Who you want to highlight next in the East? The respective Easts. Let me be plural about this.
Easts.
So I can take my copious notes and be ready for that.
Interesting. We're going to go with the Miami track team.
Okay.
Right? OA track in the U.S. And everybody's favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys.
Cowgirls? The track team and the Cowgirls.
Okay, listen. Let me not necessarily soapbox, but listen closely. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are not watching Inside the Huddle, you will want to tune in for next week.
It's going to be crazy.
That right there. We finna ruffle some feathers next week. Somebody going to be mad, and guess what? I don't give a fuck.
Oh, definitely.
I don't give a fuck.
I'm coming to hurt feelings next week.
Oh, yeah.
Ties to either one of these teams, right? But I know a lot of Cowboys fans. Listen, so it's going to get real dicey next week. I just want y'all to know that. And wait till we get to I'm trying to tell you, y'all better start tuning in, man, because when we get to the NFC West and the AFC West,
to quote a Louisiana legend, next week we coming in to set it off in this motherfucker. We coming to set that shit off. Hey, that's what's going down next week. So just make sure you tuned in. If you've not been paying attention, look at the socials on the bottom. You gotta follow us. We giving you the updates. We posting TikToks on the regular. We all over Facebook. We post these questions because we want your feedback so we can talk about it on the show. Make sure you catch us on the Discord. We always having random crazy conversations going down in there. Instagram, and I'm telling you right now on TikTok, if you ain't following OG Mel, you slipping because that man be posting some hidden gem content. His shit be, if you need a good laugh on a shitty Monday, check out OG Mel on TikTok. And I do the same thing. And I'm just saying, like, that's not the from the side of his personal from the sidelines TikTok. I'm trying to tell you, his shit be live. And look, Moolage is the hottest man on Twitter when it comes to from the sidelines content. So make sure you check out what that man got rocking and rolling as well, because it be live on 4-5.
Live on 4-5.
Live on 4-5s, man.
Yeah. And then like we got some more things in the works. This is just episode 1 of many. So there's gonna be a lot of new segments we got popping off. Me and Moolage, we talked about it. We have a 1v1 that we're gonna get the fans involved with the 1v1. So
yeah, definitely need you guys to input. Definitely tap in with it.
Yeah. So it's gonna be one-on-ones. So if you want to be part of the one-on-ones, leave it in the comments. Hit any of our socials. Like, hey, I want to come through for a one-on-one. We're gonna have an Oklahoma drill. That one's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. We just gotta work that one out. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
I like that. I Mr. GQ will volunteer his tribute to be the first running back running through the Oklahoma drill, because I ain't never scared, like Bill Bone Crusher said.
we got a lot of more breaking news is going to be coming through these next couple months. I might have some footage coming up in June. I'm supposed to be doing a camp with the Raiders and Devontae Adams June 17th, so we'll see what happens with that.
Oh man, y'all be looking for that live on location from OG Mel. Hold the phone, baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we got some stuff we're working out. I got some more stuff in the works. Moolage we talked about. One beast mode. We got some things coming.
And then for the fans, man, if y'all got some football stuff that we don't necessarily cover, but you want us to talk about it, and it's hella interesting, man, drop it on us. Yeah, drop it on us in the chat. Hit us on YouTube. Let us know. We'll discuss it in the chat. And hey, man, if we bring it to the show, we'll definitely give you your shout out, because you brought some content to the show and you gave us something to talk about. That's a big deal. We love fan engagement. What is a show without fan engagement? It's just 3 dudes sitting here talking on a screen.
Yep. Honestly.
Exactly.
Honestly, that goes for guests as well, man. And we guys got to remember, we are a football show, so we do talk about all kinds of football. We do got a surprise for y'all regarding college football next week, so make sure you guys tune in for that.
100%.
Guys' inputs and likes and comments and shares, just to kind of get everybody's thoughts and feelings on that as well. We got some XFL. We're going to keep continuing with the XFL news, keep continuing with the USFL news. I know it has been necessarily that interesting, but we are a football show, so we try to talk all kinds and all ways of football, even local high school football. I know that Mel has a whole bunch of local stories. GQ lives out there in Texas, so he has that Texas.
You already know how we do. Texas football is a religion out here.
Exactly.
I say out there because I'll be back in Texas next week. So I'll be back in my normal foxhole next week.
Yeah. But we appreciate all of our listeners, all of our audio listeners. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. I'm a single screen real quick just so I can show you guys or tell you guys what's popping on the basketball show this Monday. So this Monday we're talking playoffs, right? We're talking LA down 0-2. Are they in trouble? Are the Nuggets for real? Are the Nuggets about to go to the finals? Now, we are talking Miami and Boston. We do got a Boston fan coming on, and I'm pretty sure you guys know him very, very well. And he's going to talk, are his Boston Celtics in trouble, man? Do they have what it takes to get back to another NBA Finals? And we have a one-on-one going on with Lamar. He's going to be talking Ja Morant. So make sure you guys pull up. Make sure you guys tune in at 7:15 or 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. And make sure we'll see you guys there, man. Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir. And then I'm enjoying the basketball thing. So I'm just waiting. I just need Denver to handle two more of these for me, and hopefully. I can get super ignorant when this is over.
Yeah, there we go. Hopefully.
Yeah. Like I know this is a football show, but I will give a shout out to my Miami Heat for taking care of business in game 1, because Mr. Hemi buckets. And I'm just telling you, when you lose in a basketball game to a balanced attack, that's hard to come back from. You can't have 4 cats drop 60 points.
That's true.
Like you just can't. I don't care who you have on the other side. If 4 guys outside of your star combine for 60, and then your star drop damn near 40, yeah, it's bad for business.
It's gonna be a long night.
Definitely. But any last words, gentlemen, before we get up out of here?
I do. I have something very important because I need everybody and their mom to pay attention. Next Wednesday, Gentlemen's Talk. We have got a massive show. We have our Memorial Day tribute show. We have one of the most unique roundtables you will ever see on a live stream of any kind of podcast whatsoever. We are bringing in multiple military veterans, to include myself, who is still a currently serving veteran. It is going to be an eye-opening, jaw-dropping show. We are going to peel back the curtain in a way you may not have seen if you've never served in the military before. This is going to be a very good show. I'm looking forward to it. I have worked very hard in the background to get this right. Shout out to Troy for helping get some of these veterans together. I have a couple of veterans that I've served with as well that'll also be coming onto this show. It is going to be a phenomenal roundtable next Wednesday.
Yes,
you guys
definitely. Make sure you tune in. Make sure. And me personally, I would like for you guys to continue to tune in to Inside the Huddle. It's no longer football. It is a Football Friday, but we got a name to it now. It is Inside the Huddle. We're going to build this up. We're going to promote it every way we can, through audio, through visual. We're going to do it. This is going to be a new thing. So this coming football season.
So since we're inside the huddle, who breaks us out of the huddle?
Hey, see?
See what I did there? Oh,
that's what we're going to do.
Hey, man, I drink and I know things, man. I drink and I know things. Shout out to the homie Tyrion from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So, of course, I'll break us out the huddle. But, Moolage, you got any last words, brother, before we run up out of here?
Other than shout out to the North Bay Rattlers for making the playoffs. We officially got 3rd seed due to some forfeits and due to some people not handling business. You guys know how semi-pro go. We got that 3rd place.
Hey, a dub is a dub.
Yeah, we will be in the playoffs, man. Playoffs starting June 10th. Super excited for that, man. Season continues, man.
Yep. And then we gotta figure out how we're gonna do this. How we're gonna do this break too. We'll work on that in the background.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out.
We'll coordinate some things, and then y'all see what we got cooked up.
Yeah, because we had pushed the button. That was gonna be our thing, but now you got bells ringing, so we gotta figure out how we're gonna break the huddle. But we will break the huddle for this first episode. Thank you for tuning in. We love everybody listening, watching it on YouTube. We will see you next week inside the huddle.